So, gentlemen, good afternoon. Thank you very much for coming to today's HCI Summit, and particularly this breakout session. My name is Andre. I'm the AVP of Business Development in QCT. So permit me to have a quick introduction about this section's speaker, Raj. Raj is a technical fellow in VMware and taking the lead for all the engineering for the VMware Cloud Foundation development. And VMware and QCT, we joined partner together for the VMware Cloud Foundation development for 2 years. And we are happy VMware and QCT jointly announced VMware Las Vegas end of August. So we are looking forward to Raj to give us more insight and share his intelligence to us. So thank you, Raj.
Thank you, Andre. I want to start by thanking QCT, Mike, Andre, and Wendy. It's an interesting journey. It's interesting to see my first product marketing manager is here today. He's no longer with us, but he was there right from the start when we were defining the product. And when we approached Mike in May of 2014, they came on board as a partner with us, and they have been a great partner so far. So today I was told to talk about a little bit about what the trends are with respect to open platforms and how our product fits in or not and so on. I'll end with a demo at the end. Just want to start with a standard disclaimer. If I say anything about the product features that are not still out there shipping, then I'm lying. You can assume that. So you don't have to worry about that. So I'll start with trends and opportunities, platform needs, and a little bit about Cloud Foundation, end with a demo and take some questions. And about 30 minutes, right? So I think it's very clear if you look at all the discussions about hyper-converged infrastructure, public cloud, private clouds, hybrid clouds, customers want choice. They definitely want agility that hyperscale providers like AWS provide, but they want open source ecosystem too, which is in a much more mature stage now with lots of components available from open source community in the area of data stores, coordination mechanisms, and so on. DevOps culture is definitely real and growing, and customers at the same time, while they want open source ecosystem, they want agility, but at the same time they want to also have it everything. So they do not want to sacrifice robustness or security. Those are the enterprise quality requirements from products. If you look at the data center trends, there's definitely a variety of workloads moving into data centers. The variety of resources also, from storage, networking, compute, memory technology is fast evolving with both Samsung and Intel putting out new types of memories. Different resource upgrade cycles. So for example, Intel rack scale design, and you probably heard about it today or in the past, is proposing a disaggregation model so that you can upgrade resources across storage, network, memory, and compute at a different pace and different scale. And increasing scale. Scale is bigger, especially because of storage. Anybody who has any kind of a business line today needs to deal with the scale of data movement, which has impact on both storage and networking. So if you look at the developer cloud trends, I find that it's a moving target. If you're a developer today, keeping up with these developments is very hard. People are falling behind. For example, if you look at 2007 plus, almost 10 years back, IaaS came out with AWS launching it. Then of course people introduced platform as a service as a layer above it so that you can do easily workload deployments and management. Then of course I like to call it unopinionated PaaS, that was open source PaaS platform started becoming available. Then we have containers, which came with do-it-yourself containers with Docker based open source community and so on. Now people are trying to offer container as a service, because with containers come challenges of management, evolution of the infrastructure, and so on. And the latest is serverless computing. You don't even need a server to do compute. You just write a function. You don't need the API for that function. You have a data stored somewhere, that's a state. Whenever the data changes, automatically the function gets invoked. You can run it anywhere, you can scale it. That's called Lambda computing by AWS, Azure services are service functions by Microsoft, and so on. So that's the latest. So the point I'm trying to make is that developer cloud trends are continuously changing. And the question comes, what kind of platform do you provide? So definitely, if you look at Docker, it's a standard now as a shipping container. Really, I don't want to get into the controversy about Swarm, Docker Engine, but it's very clearly that when it comes to providing something that provides frictionless deployment and maximum portability, Docker format is the standard. Right? It's a standard that everybody is supporting. It's a very simple model. You have images in a Docker, you do it using the Docker file build, you run it in a container. Anytime you make changes, you can commit them back to the image you have, and Docker registry carries, lets you keep track of the all the images you have. What you do in terms of developer is very easy, right? It's simple command line commands allow you to build your application, push it, pull it, run it, and so on. So which is a natural fit for third platform applications and makes DevOps much easier. It still doesn't take away all the challenges you have with the infrastructure with respect to management and so on. So those are the sort of the trends and opportunities. Now I'll talk a little bit about what are the needs from the platform, because this is a platform conference. So I think one of the observations I want to make is that the clouds are the new silos. If you're IT serving the needs of the lines of business, and your lines of business are going to AWS without even consulting you, without telling you, and there are other clouds available. You get this real nightmare with respect to APIs, different teams managing different things. You don't even know how to do accounting for this and so on. So you have different teams, different technology stacks, different security and compliance. So our question is, how do we provide a cloud agnostic platform that will make you really not worry about which cloud you run on? That's one of the, I think, is a big challenge and the need that our enterprise IT customers and other service providers also are looking at. The other demand is for technologies that simplify infrastructure. You heard in the fireside chat also, there's a very good speaker talking at the fireside chat about how they have done hybrid cloud, started in AWS, moved back on to the private cloud, but they simplified the infrastructure through automation, by standardization and so on. So you have IaaS, you have containerized applications, public clouds, hyper-converged infrastructure, which is no longer a trend, but it's a reality. Everyone is investing in hyper-converged infrastructure and network virtualization. These are the trends, and all of them talk about how to bring them together without investing in many point solutions, spending time and effort on integration, which is a really manual, labor-intensive effort with no value add to your business, complexity of the operations across these technologies, avoiding vendor lock-in, so you can still continue to take advantage of different platforms, cost and public cloud silos that I mentioned. So with these trends, opportunities and platform needs really point us to those opportunities. So next is, what are we doing as a VMware, both in terms of our own products, but also fitting into the larger ecosystem of open platforms, and that's what I'm going to talk about. So VMware Cloud Foundation launched at VMworld in Las Vegas last month. Is our new platform. The way to look at it is that so far VMware had vSphere as a computing platform. If you thought about computing, people thought about vSphere. We are introducing this as a next generation platform, which is if you are building a data center, you can use Cloud Foundation as the basis, which has integration of compute, storage and networking technologies. So what is VMware Cloud Foundation? It has our computing platform, virtualization platform, the storage virtualization platform, network virtualization platform, all of them integrated together using a new product called SDC Manager, which is a software product, and it runs on certified architecture, just like the vSphere runs on a certified architecture using compatibility guide. Okay, and it can run on-prem in a private clouds or private cloud data centers or public cloud. So, and it provides you enterprise quality, robustness, reliability I talked about for compute, storage and networking. Very simple to operate, very simple to deploy. You can deploy any instance of a virtual private cloud starting from 4 nodes to 64 nodes or multiple racks like 8 racks in a matter of hours, not days. So unlike private cloud infrastructure done from scratch by enterprise IT, where people end up spending time, weeks sometimes, to do planning of the architecture, integration, sourcing solutions from different vendors and so on, we provide you a software only solution that allows you to bring up such a virtual private cloud or data center in less than a day. It's also simple to operate. Once you have it running, we provide automated lifecycle management with respect to patching and upgrading of all of the software components. We also provide help with resource provisioning. And it's a common foundation across both types of clouds, and different deployment options are available. You can buy it as a software product, you can buy the integrated system from our partners like QCT or VCE, or you can go to a public cloud provider like IBM and get it. The lifecycle management is an important part, because if you talk to the enterprise IT, a lot of effort is spent in patching and upgrading different components of the software. And the challenge is that when you suppose patch and upgrade one component such as ESX or vSphere, you might break something else, because interoperability is a critical aspect of change control process in every enterprise. So one of the things we have done as part of this product is provide a fully automated patching and upgrade. We pre-qualify the bundles, which are the patches or upgrades. We pre-qualify them for interoperability. You simply download them and schedule them. And once you schedule them for implementation, we go ahead and automate all the functions, including rollback if something fails, restarting, and so on. And administrator only has to worry about downloading and scheduling those. And today I think we are shipping automatic patching upgrade of vSphere, vSAN, NSX, SDC Manager itself, which is and hardware management service, which is a hardware abstraction layer, allows us to support different types of servers and switches. And in future we'll be adding vRealize components and OpenStack and so on. So in short, I think it's a common platform for the private and public cloud. And in the case of public cloud, you have a web portal where you can go and request a particular software defined data center. With IBM portal, you can go from 4 nodes to anywhere 64 nodes, and they invoke our APIs, and we immediately bring up the necessary virtual private cloud, including networking, storage, and virtualization. For on-prem enterprise kind of customers, we support many of the qualified vSAN ready nodes, because vSAN is the essential components, and also all the management of virtual machines, application infrastructure is done by the customers using their existing tools. So we don't take anything away from that. In case of if you want to build a hybrid cloud, you can use the same cloud foundation software. IBM Cloud for VMware solutions is an example where you have a single a place to go, but you can manage the on-prem cloud or IBM cloud, and you provide workload mobility between the clouds by doing stretch networking using NSX, and you can also have stretch vSAN clusters. So it's an example of IBM hybrid cloud, which is deployed already and operational. You can see the customer has now cloud foundation running in IBM Cloud in Amsterdam, Dallas, a private cloud on-prem, as well as IBM Cloud in Sydney. From one single interface, you can see all of those, manage those. That's the idea, and including lifecycle management of these components. One more thing we do as part of this product is that we provide you a virtual pool of resources. You can scale this from 4 nodes to 8 racks today, which is a lot of compute storage and networking capability, but we also provide you a way to look at this as a single pool of resources that you can start partitioning among different workloads for concurrently sharing the same infrastructure for different types of workloads. So we call them workload domains. Workload domain here is a database workload domain from finance. It's running in a single rack. You specify the availability, performance, capacity requirements. We automate selection of hosts, setting up the vSAN clusters, vSphere clusters, setting up the virtual network, virtual wires. All that is automated by us. So in the case of virtual desktops, it has a higher availability requirement. So you see the hosts are selected from multiple racks. Same thing goes with the sales workload domain, which has to be operational all the time. So you simply focus on policy-based provisioning, and we take care of automating it. So here is an example of creating a virtual infrastructure workload domain for general purpose VMs. You specify the name, organization, size you need, performance and availability settings, and whether or not you want specific network settings like VLANs, or we use default networks. That's all you specify, and we do the rest of the work in terms of automating deployment of that workload domain with respect to vSphere cluster, vSAN cluster, storage policies, NSX, and so on. At VMworld, we also demonstrated different types of workload domains. Some of those are on the roadmap, they are not shipping yet, such as Photon, which is our Linux distribution, allows you to create a scale-out cloud using just a bare metal Linux host with the management supported. This is for cloud native applications, and we do the automated deployment of that, or our own version of OpenStack, which allows you to use third-party OpenStack orchestrators, and we demonstrated one integration at VMworld. But rest of the stuff comes from VMware with respect to data plane in terms of robustness, scalability, and reliability. And lastly, we have added a PaaS infrastructure layer, which allows you to do things like automated application deployment, setting up the infrastructure so that you can use other third-party platform infrastructure layers on top. So in summary, I think I just want to make sure when it comes to DevOps, our goal is to support all sorts of open platforms, starting with Photon workload domain, which supports Docker containers, Kubernetes clusters, Mesos, and so on. Same thing for the VIO workload domains based on the OpenStack orchestration layers, support for heat templates, and so on. And for PaaS workload domain, again, we are based on Docker containers, Kubernetes clusters, and one choice of Pivotal Cloud Foundry. So in short, I think it's a very open platform in that sense. I just want to show a quick demo and finish my presentation. So in the case of cloud native applications, suppose a developers at some company want to build quickly a cluster for build and deploy cloud native apps, right? And infrastructure team's job is to make it as easy to launch and deploy as they are used to doing with public clouds. So our goal is that use the same shared infrastructure, should not have to deploy completely new infrastructure, easily deploy cloud native applications, and developers should see this as a pool of resources to consume. Okay, with that, let me just quickly switch to the demo. So what you see here is that, oh sorry, this is not projecting. So we are going to show you the Photon workload domain. Initially, you go to the dashboard and look at what is already inside the shared infrastructure, such as what physical resources I have, what workload domains are already configured and running for the customer. So you see the physical resources, what is available in this particular shared infrastructure. You look at next, you can go and look at the actual existing workload domains. If you look at the left-hand bar, it shows all the functions you can do here. These are the existing workload domains already running in this shared infrastructure. There's a VDI domain, virtual desktops, Photon, OpenStack, and a management workload domain at the bottom, and there's a PaaS workload domain also running. Now the customer wants to add a new Kubernetes cluster, for example, for DevOps workload. So what you do in this particular case is that you choose the menu item to add a workload domain. So you go back to the dashboard and add workload domain. You get multiple choices. In this case, we are going to use the choice to configure Photon workload domain, which comes with a native Linux OS distribution from VMware. You specify the platform name, organization, some basic information that you need to do. Then you choose the performance availability settings for your workloads, and we provide some standard profiles like low balanced high, low normal high. You specify the capacity requirements, CPU, memory, storage. For this example, I'm not choosing any, but suppose you are allowed to choose all those capacity requirements. And after that, you say you want to use default networks. You don't have to specify VLANs for vMotion, vSAN, and so on, because then automatically we can use. And you press next. You choose the data center configuration, how you connect to the rest of the data center using this workload domain. In this particular case, you choose a custom configuration. In that case, you specify the VLAN connectivity to the corporate network, and you specify all the networks. I'm out of time, but I'll wrap it up in a minute. Specified, and you go next, do the review of entire configuration you just specified, press the finish, and you will see that the Kubernetes cluster is created and deployed for you to. So if you go back now to the status, you can see that the workflow for deployment has executed. You can look at each of the workflow tasks, say Docker registry deployment, DHCP server, Photon controller, and so on. All of those you can restart if they fail. So that's an advantage of having this automation, that you get to see what is being automated, but also get to. You go to the vSphere thing, you can look at the Docker registry has been deployed, Photon client VM is there, Photon controller has been deployed. All those things you can look at them. Just like the normal vSphere interface that our customers are used to, they get to choose. You go to the Photon controller, you get to see more details in terms of how much CPU memory storage capacity is allocated, which are the tenants, data stores. You go to the Docker registry next and look at, using Harbor, you can look at its dashboard to look at what images are available, what images are installed. You can deploy new images. So that's how you start deploying this infrastructure. Any questions? That's it I have. No questions? Yeah, go ahead.
How does the license model for this product?
So it's in the case of public cloud, it's subscription based, whatever public cloud provider has. In the case of on-prem, it's just the usual standard VMware license method. It's just another software product, just like you license vSphere, NSX, vSAN, you license SDC Manager. You can use your existing licenses for other products such as vSphere, vSAN, NSX. You don't have to buy them if you already have those perpetual licenses.
Your foundation has the components of the NSX.
Yeah.
That one is not.
So if you don't have NSX, you end up buying that. So as part of the SKU, you get to choose which licenses you need. Just SDC Manager because you have everything else. You're only vSphere customer, then you add vSAN, NSX. Yeah.
Is that SKU in the current price book today?
Yes, yeah, it is shipping. Yeah.
So is this a replacement bundle for vCloud Director Suite?
No, it was a vCloud Suite, if you're referring to, was mostly a software bundle. It was a licensing bundle. This is actually a software product. SDC Manager is an automation engine. It's a distributed system, allows you to do all this automation for a single rack or multiple racks or as small as 4 nodes. Any other questions? Thank you for listening.